What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Locked On Sharks, the premier podcast, hockey podcast covering your favorite team in the Bay Area. It's also the premier hockey podcast of sliding into Sharks players' moms' DMs, which is a real thing that just happened before this record. You can make up your own headcanon as to why we did that, but we're also the premiers at that. Today's episode is the Viking funeral for William Eklund. And tomorrow we'll talk Devils and Flames preview. But today we wanted to get our thoughts out about the Lord and Savior William Eklund, praise be, because we didn't do an emergency podcast, probably because I was drunk or something. On drugs, I don't know. But that's what we're going to do today. Music me. Music us. I can't point.
You're Locked On Sharks, your daily podcast on the San Jose Sharks. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Do you ever listen to like other Locked On and then you hear the like intros that aren't ours and you're like, what is this? Because
no, I don't.
Yeah.
I'm selfish. I don't have time. I have other podcasts to listen to. Some of the intros are like really like slow, and that doesn't match my Coke addict energy that I bring to this podcast. It would just be too much of a downer. I was gonna say something. Oh yeah, I'm your host, Kyle Demetrius, and back with me as always is JD, who's also a host. I don't know why I say that he's not a host, but he is.
We're hosting. You are the main character.
I am the main character of the podcast. What? Oh, I gotta change my bio to that. That was amazing. He's the smooth jazz to my speed metal. I don't even listen to speed metal. Who cares about that? So William Eklund got sent back to Sweden. Forever gone. Yeah, JD's doing the crying tears motion. Let's subscribe to the podcast and watch us on YouTube. Yes. I'm wearing a toque or a beanie if you're an infidel, and a nice mint Lululemon sweater. And I sit in front of a Peloton. JD is currently sitting in front of a towel rack that his wife clearly bought, a towel ladder. Yeah. And there's no shit on his walls. You need to spruce up that room, buddy.
Yeah, it's fine.
There's a ceiling fan that looks off kilter, but I think that's just the angle of the computer.
That's just the angle of the computer. So
what's your t-shirt today?
We're in a Giants.
So nice.
Yeah, long sleeve Giants shirt because it's starting to get cold. Yes.
Starting to get cold, eh? I went to Whistler today. It was very cold. But we're not here to talk about that. I don't know. Like, I just,
okay. When you found out, how mad were you initially? Because I wasn't
mad. I was disappointed.
I was like kind of mad. Yeah, but disappointed was like it's probably
the funniest shit was that the day before or whatever, the beat writers were like, "Here's all his numbers. I'd be really shocked if he went back." On this podcast, we were like, "Why wouldn't he be in the lineup against the Devils? A, they have nobody because of COVID, and B, there's nobody else to fill his hole. Fill his hole." Phrasing. Yeah. Fill the hole that he would leave, and C, he's playing decent enough. And I know that you can tear apart his game over these 9 games and be like, well, at 5-on-5 he disappeared here, and he only showed flashes here and here, or he doesn't have enough weight to go. NHL teams famously don't have a weight room, I guess, but no. I just think that the Sharks aren't talented enough to be sending him back. And now that moves into also a pro category, possibly, where they send him back because this is a waste of a year. But that leads me to question everything Doug Wilson and the management and the team has set up to this point.
Yeah. We'll put a pin in that really quick before. So I think,
no, I don't want to. Just
kidding. With him going back, I mean, like, yeah, like, oh, it's good for his development, stuff like that. He's just gonna go dominate.
Well, is he gonna dominate the SHL? He's still 19.
Yeah,
and he could. The big bugaboo here is that Djurgården's terrible.
Yeah, they've been pooping.
They're
Marcus
awful.
Sorensen,
They're like the worst team.
Do you think Marcus Sorensen's gonna be like, no, don't go back, man? You're not. He's gonna have all the. But yeah,
Marcus
I think they
Sorensen
lost
seems like a nice guy.
They lost like 7-0 or something like that the other day.
The day that he got sent back, they lost like 7-0. So right now, Djurgårdens is second last. They're just ahead of Timrå,
who just got called. Yeah, Just got called up.
Jew Garden. Oh, there is an S. Jew Gardens. They played 18 matches. They've won 4. They've won. What's WO? Won overtime. Wins in overtime.
Probably.
They've won 1 overtime. They've lost once in overtime and lost 12 in regulation.
Nice. Yeah. It's gonna be fun to get crushed on a terrible team for the rest of the year. So yeah, so he's gonna be back, or he's gonna be in Sweden. We're not seeing him until the training camp 2022 season, right? That's it, right? There's
no, because he played 9 games this year.
Mhm.
He can't play that 10th game. So even if Jew Gardens gets eliminated in, like, say, March or whatever their season ends, April,
Yep.
he can't come back and play because he'll play that 10th game.
And then
that will burn his ELC. He could come back for the playoffs, though.
Okay.
And
so
not
just clarify
burn
that.
his,
Yeah.
Yeah, he can come back for the playoffs and be like a black ace or whatever. But I don't know why you do that. But I also don't know. I don't know if the Sharks are going to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
So
that. I think this kind of leads to the, like, where does this leave the Sharks right now? Because with Eklund, he's going to go over there. He's going to,
he better, like, if he goes back, he better be playing like 19 minutes a night.
Yeah, he should.
If he's playing 13 minutes a night in the SHL, why the hell did you send him back? So
especially on a bad team, yeah, like he should just be playing power play, penalty kill, like just to dominate everything like that. So
San Jose is currently first in the wild card.
What a world.
With 13 points. They would have the honor of getting Gator stomped by Connor McDavid and the boys. Did you know they're 9-1? Jesus.
Yeah.
Jesus tonight.
Also, really quick, that Connor McDavid goal was
just nutty.
Yes. But before we get into what does this mean for the Sharks right now, let's go ahead and take a quick break and talk to you about our friends over at DirecTV. So, does this sound familiar to you? You've got one device that lets you catch the game live, another lets you stream your favorite shows, you're watching sports highlights on your phone, and you've got your neighbor's best friends log in for the good stuff. Well, I want to tell you a simple way to get all your entertainment you love without the hassle, and a great way to finally get your TV together. It's called DirecTV Stream, and it brings your live TV and on-demand favorites together like never before, so you can watch your favorite sports, movies, and shows all in one place. That means no more juggling remotes, no need to buy another device ever again, and the best part, there's no annual contract. So get rid of the clutter and the confusion and get your TV together with DirecTV Stream. You can learn more at directv.com. That's directv.com. Compatible devices required. Content varies by package.
So, if you're like me, I hope you're not. It's an interesting life you lead. You should DM me. But if you're like me and you hate your job, your regular job, JD and I don't get paid enough to do this one full time. Sharks will sell out. Get at us. But if you have a day job, you don't really like it, you got to find a job somewhere. It's not like the old days where you could just walk in with the paper. Do you remember doing that as a kid? Walking in with like your paper resume and be like, "Hi, can I speak to the manager?" They come out and they're like, "Hi, I'm Kyle. I'm here for a job." They hand them your resume all awkward and stuff.
Yeah.
Says like, and then there's like a page of references. That was the thing back in the day. Oh, you don't have to do that anymore because the computer was invented. And then the internet was invented in the early 90s and perfected in the late 90s. And that leads us to Indeed. Indeed is a hiring partner that gets you what you really want, a short list of quality candidates as fast as possible, because you can do it all. Attract, interview, and hire all at Indeed. Don't struggle on your own to find quality candidates. Indeed can help you hire the right people right now. Indeed partners with you on every step of the hiring process, so you can find talent with the skills you need through tools like Indeed Instant Match, it's like a dating service, assessments, and virtual interviews, also like dating. Indeed makes it easier for star applicants to shine with over 135 assessment tests from cooking to coding. I've taken a bunch of them. It's nice too, because when you do the one, if another job wants you to do the same one, you can just use your results from the last one. Click it in there. It's great. Pick what skills are important to you from over 135 assessments and get a clear view of your top talent's abilities faster. Assessments make the interview process smoother for everyone. Talent doesn't need to prove themselves again, and you can dive deeper into talking about what's important to you. With Indeed assessments, you can reduce hiring time by 12%. That's a lot of time, especially when you're busy answering emails, according to Indeed data worldwide. Get started right now with a $75 sponsored job credit to upgrade your job post at Indeed.com/locked on. It's right here below if you're watching. Get a $75 credit at Indeed.com/locked-on. Indeed.com/locked-on. Offer valid through December 31st. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire? You need Indeed. Do you think Doug Wilson's going to need Indeed this summer? I'm just kidding.
All right.
He's gonna if he brings back Evander Kane to fill in the William Eklund hole, then yes, he should be using Indeed because that was
the big question. I think that's coming up now. Is the Sharks clearly have a hole?
They have nobody to fill in.
What are you talking about?
Nick Bonino.
Nick Bonino.
How silly of me to forget that Nick Bonino is now your number one
who
left
signed
wing.
with the Sharks because he wanted to play center, and Doug Wilson was like, "Yeah, you can play center with us." And then
third line, and that line was good.
Yeah. I mean, I know he hasn't scored, but like, you're not paying Nick.
Then he should be sent to Sweden like everybody else that doesn't score.
Yes, John Leonard, you're sent to Sweden.
How sad was the William Eklund interview, though?
Oh my god, that was brutal. I couldn't even watch it, dude. I started to watch it, and it was
nice though that Jonathan Dahlin said that he ended up was able to have dinner with Eklund before he left, and that's really good because Dahlin has been through the shit. He's also Swedish. He's young. He's been through the shit. He's been sent back to Sweden. He's done the whole thing. So I think that's really, really helpful. But
yeah, Dahlin is the perfect guy to lean on. Who's bound. He's literally on his third NHL team right now. Like, and a promising prospect. Yeah. Thanks.
So where does it leave the Sharks right now? Assuming everybody comes back, it was Eklund. Sorry. The top line is Dahlin, Couture, Meyer.
Mm-hmm.
Blank spot. Hurdle, Barabanov.
Probably Rudy now, I guess. So
or Rudy. They bounce back and forth, but I think Barabanov has acquitted himself quite well.
No, I'm saying on that second line that Rudy Barabanov, the Rudy Barabanov Hurdle line was looking pretty tasty there over the weekend.
Okay,
so
now your third line is now
Bonino,
LeBanc.
Your winger du jour,
Cogliano.
I guess Cogliano, Nieto, Leonard. Actually, Nick Merkley, dude. Nick Merkley's been looking good. But you
can see how we've already gotten into taking the strength where the fact that William Eklund slotted into that second line and the top line during COVID, and he pushed down a Barabanov or a Rudy and LeBanc. They can make a better third line because if Barabanov's going to be this competent and this pretty good, like he's been pretty good so far. There's no two ways around it. But if he was on the third line with LeBanc and Bonino, or if Rudy was on that with LeBanc and Bonino and Barabanov was with Hurdle and Eklund, you can see how the talent gets pushed down the lineup and you have a more complete lineup. Now you have to fill in. And now if there's an injury or something like that, now
half your team's out with
COVID. You're now moving your Nietos and your Coglianos and stuff up. And now you have to bring up your Gregors and your Leonards and stuff that you didn't really want on the team anyway to start the season. Like Lane Pedersen hasn't done anything, but now he's going to have to be a mainstay in your roster. I think right now in the short-term vacuum, it leaves a hole that they can't fill.
I mean, does this open the door for Evander Kane, which you and I both have been like, he can't touch this team. You can't bring him back.
If Evander Kane comes back, just trade Hurdle, trade Burns, trade Reimer. Who cares?
Just burn it
Whatever.
down. Yeah.
Just I don't care at this point.
Does that mean though this for you? Because I mean, I think this kind of ends the good vibe Sharks with Eklund being gone. Am I correct? Like, it's just I think it's just been tough with also having so many guys just out with COVID right now.
COVID, I really think the good vibe Sharks die if Evander Kane ever returns to this team. That's with the official death. Right now they're on like the oxygen machine, the ventilator.
The ventilator. Oh, brutal. But so like if like what does that mean you think for Hurdle for the rest of the year? Like, because I mean you thought like, was this the last time we saw Hurdle and Eklund playing together? Like,
there's a high possibility.
Like, is this make it more likely that Hurdle's gone at the trade deadline? Because I mean, this team's been I know they've been crushed with COVID recently, but they're about to start a 5-game road trip against.
There's potential they lose every game.
Yes,
it's like Edmonton, Calgary, Minnesota, St. Louis, Winnipeg, Colorado.
Yeah.
These are something all like that,
except for Winnipeg. But yeah,
but even then, they barely beat them last time, and they barely beat them in the home opener. And they have Hellebuck, so he could steal the game. There's a high potential that they go on like a 7-game losing streak. Was Eklund ever going to push them over the hump to make the playoffs?
Maybe. I mean, if he was, like a 35-point second line guy, I mean, that's decent. But like,
Yeah,
I
and I
think the
think he was
way,
going to continue to improve throughout
yeah,
the
and
season.
the way he makes his teammates around him better. Like I think that's something you could legitimately see where he's making amazing passes to his teammates, and sometimes they just weren't able to connect on his team, or they're just missing and stuff like that. So, and you think with more just playing with these guys more and more that chemistry is going to continue to build. But we thought that they could be a potential playoff bubble team. I think with Eklund gone, I'm less feeling that. So
Yeah, it just makes the margins thinner. Nobody coming up to fill a spot is going to have that talent, and then you're backfilling. Do you think this is a signal that Doug Wilson doesn't think this team is going to make playoffs?
Yeah, I do. Because if
Or
he
do
felt
you
like,
think, or do you think he really just went 5D chess and was like, we need that extra year on the back end in 2026?
see, that's what drives me nuts. Is that because it's like, I know you're trying to save money or whatever, and like by that time, most of your contracts will be cleared off. I think we
Yeah.
looked at,
So in the summer of 20, so if he's gonna make the team next year. There's no way you can send him back. So that means his ELC will run until the end of the 2025 season, and then 25-26 is when he would need a RFA contract. And the only people on the team are Logan Couture, Eric Carlson, goddamn Mark-Edward Vlasic. I think it's Vlasic's last year, to be honest with you.
yes,
The man will not go. But like at the end of the 25 season, Brent Burns' contract comes off. Evander Kane comes off. That's
yeah.
right now. Obviously, Mario Ferraro is going to be extended. Maybe Hurdle, Meyer, and
Timo will
stuff like
get
that.
his. Yeah, Timo's going to get his. LeBanc will be gone. So who knows if they give
So
him
there
another
is going to be
contract?
more
Yeah,
contracts, but right now there's not a lot, and you can
yeah.
always bridge him. It's. I personally don't think it's the same as MLB service time manipulation. Don't do it. Just pay. You're going to have to pay the guy eventually, and one extra year is. It's just not. Just it doesn't matter, and especially if you're going to tell us that you want to make the team make the playoffs this year, which whatever.
Yeah.
Do you think they sent him back because he wasn't eating enough?
Yeah, I think that was a big thing. He needed to get stronger. He needed to kind of bulk up. So that was
Do you
a big
think?
reason.
Do you think they have built bars in Sweden?
I don't know, but I'm sure they probably stuffed a bunch in his hockey bag when they sent him back.
Probably. You know what they don't have in Sweden though? Thanksgiving.
Hmm.
And Thanksgiving is coming up. All the good food, even sweet potato pie, casserole, whatever that garbage is. We're ready to do our Thanksgiving episode. There's lots of tasty treats: pumpkin pie, turkey, stuffing, cranberry sauce. There's a ton of it, right? You eat, and then you come back later in the night, eat more, then you eat more the next day. But maybe you want a tasty dessert that isn't so full of calories and sugar, which means that it's the perfect time for Built Bars, and Built Bar could be the new holiday dessert. Eat something delicious and feel good about it because you're going to feel bad about the rest of the meal. One slice of pie has upwards of 300 calories. I'm sure if you throw some whipped cream on there, it's going to be way more than that. Most Built Bars are only 130 calories, and there's only 4 grams of sugar and plenty of protein. Replace the coconut cream pie with coconut Built Bar, or go for a raspberry Built Bar instead of other various cream pies. Lots of good flavors to replace any kind of dessert you want. Low calorie, low carb, low fat, high protein. 100% real chocolate. I think that's the surprising thing for you and I when we bite into them. They're like actually taste like chocolate because it is real chocolate. Built Bar is a great option for when you're hungry. So you can have them before Thanksgiving. Grab a Built Bar or two. Share some of your family gatherings. Make it less awkward. Get rid of that insurrection talk and slide it over to Aunt Geraldine and be like, here, try this Built Bar. It's great. There's new surprises all month. Limited time flavors are arriving constantly, so check the site often. There's nothing like a Built Bar Black Friday. Mark your calendar. Black Friday will be a huge event with all sorts of surprises. Go to built.com, use promo code LOCKED15, and you'll get 15% off your order. Use promo code LOCKED15 for 15% off at built.com.
So the contract thing, though, I was thinking about this. It's like, yeah, you save a year, but like you might actually have to pay him more in the long run, right? So let's just hypothetically kind of work this out, right? So say this year he sticks around the whole year, he scores like 35, 40 points, right?
Mhm.
Next year he improves like a 50 point a player, and then the year after that maybe he's like a 60, 70 point a player. That's okay. Then the contract's gonna be based on like that 60 to 70 point a player, right?
Yeah.
So what if he comes back next year and he's like hits the ground running, he's like a 50 point a player. Then the year after that, he's like a 60, 70 point. And then his final year of his contract, he's a point per game player. Then you got to pay him as a point per game player instead of like a. So, I mean, you save $1 million this year, but you might have to spend.
Yeah, the ELC move and slide and stuff like that is such a tricky game to play because you're going to have to pay him eventually, unless he's a complete bust. But clearly, he's not going to be. It's tough. It's tough when you move that money around and stuff like that because you're trying to play 5D chess 6 years in the future. So, what do you think?
Stuff that may or may not happen, type of thing.
Exactly. In the immediate, though, what's a good season for Willie over in? I don't want to call him Willie. What's a good season for Eklund over in Sweden?
I think what we were saying before, where he needs to be playing, top line minutes,
big minutes, all situations.
Minutes.
Well, not penalty kill, but power play.
I mean, penalty kill, because you'd eventually like him to play penalty kill for the Sharks.
Yeah, I mean, if they want to, I just meant it's not as imperative as power play in 5-on-5.
Yeah, and he needs to be, because he was a half a point game last year, so he needs to be probably close to
a full. I think he's got to be a full point per game player.
Yeah, over there. So especially on the bigger ice and stuff, and then and stay healthy, of course, is a big thing. Don't shred your knee or something like that. So, I think you want to, and then of course hitting the gym and coming back, and you need that, best shape of his life coming into training camp.
Put on 35 pounds of muscle.
He
will get more time. He's just dieseled. He will get more time in the weight room because they play less games. But I think I really hope he's like a point per game player. He's doing a lot, if not more. I think that's what we really want to see out of him in Sweden because it is a lesser league, and we saw that he can hang in the NHL. Even Logan Couture said he can hang. It really sounded like Logan Couture wanted him to stay.
Yeah.
Apparently, Hurdle, Couture, and Darlene were all trying to console him. He's pretty upset.
It's brutal, man.
I don't know. He can just keep him around. Just consequences be damned.
For the vibes. Just keep
for
the
vibes only. Yeah. God. Long term for the Sharks, obviously they're going to say that it's good for his development and stuff, but they really got to hope that he goes to Sweden and doesn't hang his head or even if he doesn't hang his head and says all the right things and works hard but doesn't have a great season, you got to hope that he has a good season and comes back next year with the same attitude he did this year. It's a risky game sending a prospect who openly said from the draft that he wants to make the Sharks and then did so well through training camp and dev camp and prospects camp and all that kind of stuff and made the Sharks for 9 games. I think it's important that he comes back with that same attitude, but there's always the risk about sending that kind of player away and then he just loses it for a season or whatever. It's tough. It's not. And Jew Gardens, if they're a bad team and they're getting pummeled 7-0 on a regular basis, like that's not great for your psyche. But I mean, I guess he can work on stuff.
Yeah.
In the games individually, right?
Yeah. What are your thoughts on them not sending him to the CUDA?
That's fine. The AHL is full of goons who are like 36 years old and think it's their job to take the knee out of some young kid who's trying to come up because they didn't make it. And they're hoop dreams. We used to call those guys hoop dreams playing pickup. Yeah, that guy had hoop dreams and they're just so shit. Like it's just the league is full of goons, and especially with San Diego in this division and like Stockton and the Pacific guys, it's not.
Yeah,
you don't want to be messing around with that. It's just send him back to Sweden if that's the case. It would have been nice for him to learn North American ice, but hey, he's going to play World Junior now 100%.
Oh, that yeah.
At least we know that.
Yes. Oh, that'll be fun with Bordelot and like a bunch of these guys going to the juniors. That'll be great. So
yeah, well, Lucas Raymond's probably not going back.
No,
he's going to win the Calder. Yeah. Speaking of the Calder, William Eklund is still eligible for the Calder next year.
Yeah, well, we
were a year too early.
No, Doug Wilson was playing 2D chess here or 5D chess because Darlene and Eklund can't both win the Calder in the same year.
It's true. So. And Raymond's here, and Spencer Knight's here, and Anton Lundell's here. So maybe next year's a little weaker of a class. Like it.
Well, that was Shane Wright. Walk it.
chain right on the Sharks?
Or do you think they're going to be that? Do you think they full tank this year now? I don't think they're going to be able to.
I hope so.
It'd be nice to have.
I don't know. We'll talk about that later. We've
Yeah.
maintained that it's too early in the season to see where the Sharks are going. Coming into the season, I don't think either of us really thought they'd have a chance. We thought creamy middle. But I mean,
creamy middle still.
That's the worst possible spot. But anyway, I'm
here.
just sad that he's gone. It was the happiest thing to happen from the Sharks since the 2019 Cup run, and before that, since the 2016 Cup run.
Yeah,
like between 16 and 19.
And then watching like Baby Hurdle, like on that, like with Eklund, or Baby Hurdle with Thornton.
That was like 2014 or something.
Yeah,
like
it's been a long time with the prospects. So, anyway, let's get out of here.
I'm just sad. If you'd like to tweet at us and ask us if you would like to slide into our DMs, like we slid into the mother of a Sharks player, it's DMs. Locked on Sharks on Twitter. JD's been holding it down while I've been gallivanting around with Australians. It's been good. He does good work. I hate that Restream is backwards. Does good work. Facebook, Instagram, if that's where you get your stuff. JD's putting up all our episodes there. You can also DM us, leave a comment there. YouTube, please subscribe. ASMR people, welcome. January 6th people, you have been here for a while.
Yep.
We're getting closer to 400. Please help subscribe. Leave some comments.
Leave comments. Comments are good.
There's a spirited comment section the other day. Yes, I know that only Sith can shoot lightning out of their fingertips. I know that Jedis can't do that.
But
in the moment, you know how hard it is to talk not for me, but you know how hard it is to make 5 of these shits every week? Sometimes you got the general gist of what I was going for.
Darth Vader though can't shoot lightning because he doesn't have actual fingers though.
Isn't Palpatine the only one that can shoot lightning?
No.
What other one has shot lightning?
Count Dooku.
Oh. Did he do it in the movies, or is this like a Clone Wars thing?
I know he's done it in the Clone Wars, but I don't know if he's done it in the movies or not.
It'd be sick if General Grievous was just out here fucking shooting lightning.
But no, he can't because he doesn't have. He's got
General Grievous is sick though. He's so
General Grievous is sick, but he's synthetic fingers. Anyway, also shout out really quick, our guy Jason.
He sent us a picture of his baby
named Nolan. Oh,
is that after? Do you think that's after Owen Nolan?
I would hope so.
Nolan Schaefer,
or both. Shout out Jason.
Did you name the child's middle name Content? That would be nice.
He's also filing for divorce after. No,
that'd be cool. Hey, middle names don't mean anything.
No, they don't.
What's your middle name?
David.
Oh, right, JD.
Yeah.
If you'd like to leave us an email, lockedonsharks@gmail.com. Somebody sent us a real email. This guy, I can't tell where this guy's from though. Paul. He was just very sad about Eklund.
We're sad too.
But then he said, "What a waste of excitement. I hope Kyle doesn't have a grabber." I don't know what a grabber is. I think like grabbing for your heart, like a heart attack. But I'm not sure. I'm 32. I don't. This is old person parlance. Not that you're old, Paul. Maybe you are. I don't know. You did send a very formal email. But anyway, let us know what a grabber is in the emails. And he said, and slow down on the Five Guys fries, which I think are the best also. Good man. I didn't rant as much because it wasn't sneaky underrated fries. Which
Del Taco.
I don't have Del Taco in Canada. I've never even seen one before in my life.
But
Steve, one of the main combatants of the fry wars, he sent us an email and said, as much as we may disagree on fries, JD is right that the Western Bacon Cheeseburger is the best burger at Carl's Jr. Their fries are okay. In-N-Outs are better. Steve, P.S. PowerPoint is coming. Be prepared. Then an emoji of a potato and an emoji of a man kneeling. I don't really know what that means.
Praying to the potato lord.
I guess.
Maybe it's Curtis Gabriel. Steve's actually Curtis Gabriel.
Oh, maybe. Anyway, JD's at my fry hole.
Kyle's at Kyle Demetrius. Thank you guys for making us your first listen. Thank you guys for somehow continuing to support this show, even though we honestly have
a lot of dick jokes.
A lot of dick jokes. Go listen to another good hockey podcast. Like, I don't know.
Locked on
Canadians are good friends.
Locked on Flames. The Sharks are playing them coming up.
Yeah, go listen to Jess. Or go listen to go listen to Locked On Kings. Sarah is amazing at her job. So go listen to her.
And then go listen to Locked On Sacramento Kings. Who cares?
Yeah. Matt's good too. So bye, friends.
That's my line.